Okay, now start.
Hello, friends and fellow gamers. How are you all doing today? Oh man, it is a good day indeed for some Gungrave. My name is TempestMask1000. Some of you know me as Steve, and I'm very, very honored to be the closer here of day one for Mini InstaSpeedathon. It is always good to be back for any kind of InstaSpeedathon, and we're just here to have a good old time in support of EveryoneCan. So this game, I'm going to give a quick rundown. This is Gungrave, a PlayStation 2 title that was developed by Red Entertainment, featuring character designs by Yasuhiro Naitao, a creator and the mangaka of Trigun, as well as Blood Blockade Battlefront, if you are familiar with some of his works. Those are definitely some of his most popular. And it's a franchise that is pretty much persisted, and it's still it's got quite a calling, and all that good jazz. But joining me today is a series runner as well in Zero, and yeah, how you doing, sir?
I'm good. How about you?
I cannot complain. It is a good day to kick some butt.
It very much is.
Yes, indeed. We're going to just quickly show off a couple of options before we get down to it, and that's going to start with my key config. So these are just my controls. I'm setting run to the shoulder button and the coffin to the circle equivalent. This is just to emulate Gungrave Gore style because I'm a little more familiar with that, at least in terms of a run setting. And then we have game config. The difficulty is going to be set to easy, and we'll explain what that does in a little bit, but you'd be surprised, it doesn't do too much. All right, since this is the final run of the day, I will let you do the honors of counting me down.
Okay, I'm ready. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Gungrave. Here we go. So, quick thing you need to know about the game. This is basically playing out as sort of a arcade-style, shoot-'em-up style thing. It's third person, and you've basically got tank controls, not unlike that of Resident Evil, but thankfully there's no, like, fixed cam. It's always going to be following our protagonist, and leaves for this really satisfying gameplay of just trying to pump as much lead into enemies as you can. No need to worry about reloading. All you got to do is just get on through. And yeah, you're gonna basically see me just piled through all these goons just coming at me, and so. But the aim of the run is to try and get through stages as optimally as possible, whether this be through just trying to get certain obstacles, like how I took out that one guy just to pass through the crack and make it into the staircase. But most of the time, you're going to see me try to take care of specific enemies, in which the game requires those enemies to be beaten in order for the way to open up. Zero, care to explain some more?
Yeah, so like he said, we're playing on the easy difficulty. We're also playing on the Japanese version of the game. The Japanese version offers easy, normal, hard, whereas the English version offers normal, hard, and kick-ass. So we play the Japanese version just to get that easy difficulty. Another advantage of playing on emulator versus console is there's zero lag. So this game's a lot easier to learn on emulator, and it's pretty much like if you play on console first versus emulator, it's pretty much weight training, because as soon as you get on emulator, you can fly.
Very much so. And that was a very good stage one, I should add. Yeah, so the end game of stage one, it's the shortest level within the game entirely. You just go by the seat of your pants for that one. And that guy in the Superfly suit, that was Mickey. He went down in style. I gotta give a little bit of respect to a common goon like that, at least. But yeah, we're moving into stage two now. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, where Steve's walking through right now is like I'm a console runner. He's an emulator runner, so I can only really go off console stuff. This is like moving through the thickest mud you can ever imagine, versus emulator where he's just flying through it. This part of the level that he's at is a forced fight. You'll see quite a few of these throughout the game where you have to take out so many enemies, and once you do that, you'll get the arcade style go, and then you go run to the door and go through. The second part is it has a pretty cool animation skip at the end. I'll explain it when we get there. But pretty much just running and gunning through enemies. Now, the melee attack he's using is the circle button, and it is the coffin swing. Yes, Grave carries his own coffin on his back as a weapon.
The
So he
sickest
just
thing
swings it,
ever that he's just coughing by the seat of his pants.
Yeah. Another thing you'll see Steve doing is the stair cancel, because it's really slow running upstairs. So this animation skip here, if he would have made a dive, you can actually dive in the window and skip that walking animation. I think it's something that I found or either Cosmic found, one of the two.
I actually didn't realize that. Whoops.
Yeah. So this is a maze skip. He's going to jump up these two shipping containers and jump up on this rail, and it skips a whole maze. That easy. This game is actually ran glitchless.
Yeah, surprisingly
we just have a few skips we can do here and there.
Yeah. See, the funny thing about momentum is that because Grave is a pretty heavy character, the idea of jumping, it's not as simple as it seems, but it can be once you basically just get it down, just keep it in a sort of I guess it's like muscle memory, a mental node, if you will. The idea is that he can jump by what's called neutral jumping, which is you stand still, press the dive button, and then he does the big leap. Or there is vaulting over objects, and that's what I'm going to be trying to do a lot of because it's way more consistent and also can really make for some just general level skips or platforming skips. Like, it just makes up the bulk of that stuff, really.
And you'll see him dive down long hallways as well as a way to deal damage, because Grave shoots more bullets when he's diving versus standing. Now we're going to spin to win.
Indeed we are.
So this is the introduction of the demolition shot. We'll learn 4 of them through the game, and we'll only use 3. So that was the spin to win button.
And with that, we got the Hellhound Roar,
which is your 3rd demolition shot, and you're going to see a lot of that stair canceling in this level. Also, this is the prelude to the worst 2 levels in the game.
Yeah, would you believe me if I said there are actually a total of 6 stages? And that's for the funny part, because, yeah, despite how short this game can be casually, it's still very well regarded among the entire franchise. Like, the further you get down to the games in terms of the main gameplay, this excluding the 2 VR title games that you can otherwise play if you have, like, PSVR or Steam VR, it is the shortest among the main titles. Overdose, the sequel, tried to be much longer and effectively has double the amount. And then in Gungrave Gore, the most recent game, that is definitely the longest. But not as long as it used to be, thanks to 2 things. One, the fact that we can use a nice little New Game Plus unlock in Grave's self when he was alive, and also the plethora of updates that developer Iggy Mob had put out through the entire game, just effectively streamlining the pace overall. But Gungrave Gore definitely stands to be the biggest in terms of playtime.
It's also the easiest.
Yeah, surprisingly, actually. I mean, there are some moments of difficulty, though. Like, there certainly were a few obstacles within the older versions of the game that, if you were not too careful, it could certainly trip you up, like, several times. And the interesting thing is that in the most recent port of the game, that being Ultimate Enhanced Edition for Switch, which actually came out almost a month ago, actually. Yeah, October 18th, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they brought some of those obstacles back. But not in a bad way. They've taken a lot of feedback from the many updates that they've made for the Steam and console versions, that being Xbox and PlayStation. And they've certainly did quite a bit of cooking to make what I'd say is, like, the best sort of interpretation between both easy and moderately difficult, which that's definitely something you would want from a game more often than not.
Yeah. So now this is the Final Fantasy 13 hallway.
And you're just escaping that bulldozer right there. No need to worry about it.
So I played through Metal Gear recently, the MSX version. Ooh. This is the same thing, except you actually fight the bulldozer.
Yeah. You can destroy this thing if you want to. We just don't have to. It's obviously a small obligation if you're playing casually, but aside from that, it's just it's just there.
So here's one of the best force fights in the game. One of the easiest force fights in the game. We just literally have to set and spin until we run out of enemies, and then we'll go to the first phase of the boss.
Yes, at this point, the boss fights are actual bosses with health. The first two, Mickey and whoever that guy was at the end of the factory, they were just small fry. They were basic people. They did not stand a chance against Grave, and the developers quite honestly knew that, so it's going to get really interesting from here.
This will be a good time to explain beats.
That's right.
If you want me,
I'll do it in a second.
Okay.
Because I think this is the end of the room. Yes, okay. So we're going to hear a harpsichord. And then we're back to action. So beat counter. Every time I'm hitting an enemy, that's going to increase. And every certain amount of intervals, starting at 20, going into 50, and then whatever else the game gives you, you're just adding energy to that little gauge behind the skull icon in the upper left. And what that does is, once it fills up, you get a demolition point for your demolition shot. I forgot to pose. Invalid run. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm not accepting this run.
Oh, well. Hey, don't worry. I got a better way of doing it. Don't you worry. And right now we are fighting our first major boss, this being Bob Poundmax of Millennium. He is one of 4 major members that make up the high rank of the Syndicate, and this is actually what we used to work for. As an assassin and personal bodyguard of the old boss Big Daddy, Brandon Heat was one of his most trusted members, and he and his best friend Harry McDowell were effectively rising up the ranks, but Harry wanted it all, so he effectively had this plan of taking down Big Daddy, but of course Grave's loyalty stayed through, so Harry killed Brandon, and Dr. Tokioka, an associate of Brandon, used something called necrolization to bring him back to life as Beyond the Grave. So here we are trying to get our revenge, and unfortunately Dr. T, who you just saw there, he's actually dead in this. Some assassins suddenly kidnapped Mika, that girl that was sitting on the couch. She's actually the only child of Big Daddy, so Grave obviously has this huge obligation to keep her safe as one of the last remaining things of basically his former life, and so we're going to try and rescue her in the subway, where they've effectively...
So in the last boss fight, while we were explaining the story, I'll go ahead and just go over that real quick. We used the force fight before to farm demolition shots for the rest of the game. And in the boss fight, you'll notice that he got down to about a quarter of his health bar, or a little bit less than a quarter, and we just instantly killed him. That is what we call the Raging Demon technique in this game. We don't really know the name for it. There's never really been a name given to it. Pretty much, when you see the skull flash, you press triangle, you win.
The idea is that it's a special demolition shot. Yeah, it's basically a special demolition shot that you activate during those conditions, and we call it Raging Demon because, come on, Grave, get around that. Come on, Grave, get around that. Oh, come on.
I say to this day, jumps are RNG.
Yeah, that is the worst. I had to. Okay. Oh, that's going to be a little bit of time loss. Most unfortunate indeed, but you know what? Hey, all good. We're just chilling as far as can be. And, oh, okay, barely got it. I was trying to get... I should have moved a little bit sooner, because the best part about that little motion there is that enemy could have pushed me into where I wanted to be, and that's always fun to do.
Yeah. But yeah, the Raging Demon technique was named after Akuma in Street Fighter, so...
Yeah, the famous Shungoku Satsu technique. It's one of my personal favorite super moves in a fighting game, and definitely iconic for a reason. But once we skip the cutscene, the game effectively puts us right in front of the enemy that we were just fighting, and then, yeah, we're just, like, right in front of it. So, yeah, basically why the person behind the Speed Demos archive page of this game called it the Raging Demon technique. It's a nice little nod. I appreciate it. I think there was an extra enemy that once again survived. Oh, no.
I have that trouble all the time when I run this game.
And the worst part is that didn't happen during my practice today. I had it good for once, but yeah, no.
huge shout outs to DE Cosmic for unearthing a lot of things we didn't know about for this game.
Absolutely, yes. Cosmic put a lot of work. You know, one of these days we certainly hope to really schmoove, because there is an uncontested world record within this game for at least 26 minutes something seconds. At least something that if one of us were able to take care of, man, that would just be like the best. But you know, this game does like to fight back, and it's only fair. It's a challenge that we're well worth taking.
And by the way, that is a console world record. And like I said, the console version of this game is totally different than the emulator version.
Oh, yes, definitely. Like, yeah, the fact that you don't have to worry about any lag within the emulator runs is just the big whole reason why we opted to separate between any percent and any percent emulator as compared to simply ticking the ticker off. It's that different. It's just that different. Okay, we're now inside a train, and Zero, I like trains.
I like trains too. I like the Techno Train. If anyone's ever heard that song and gets that reference.
Ooh, that's an interesting one. I can't say I'm familiar, but
I will link you the song. So now we're pretty much, we don't have to kill every encounter in these trains. We just have to make sure that the rockets on either side are taken care of, which we're going to use I think the Hellhound Roar is what the one you're using?
Yeah.
To make sure that those rockets get taken care of, and now it's a helicopter.
Get to the chopper! No, not the chopper!
And now we can just go through.
Up to Ballad Bird Lee this time.
Yeah, the best boss in this game, actually.
He's got a wacky design. Alright, so I'm going to be very careful of a charge attack, which if he decides to use that, and I get caught into it, then I'm going to get stuck in a little bit of a cutscene. So we instead just want to, like, try to have a machine gun me more often than not. And yeah, that right there was the move that I wanted to dodge, which I did so successfully, but maybe a little too close.
So the way that we have this game routed is with our demolition shots. Speaking of, we're getting ready to set up another raging demon here, right there.
How did he not hit me? That was weird.
I'm mad he didn't hit you, because I get hit all the time. But we have our demolition shots routed out to where when we farm them, we don't need anymore. The only reason we would need more is the great option in this game to recover your health at the cost of one demolition shot.
And this is the only time in the franchise they've done this, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Now this is the worst level in the game, because if Steve falls off at the very top of this, we have to do this all over again.
Yeah, it happened
and there's
once
a lot
in
of
practice.
There's a lot of precise jumps towards the end you have to do.
Yeah, just one of those things where you got to be very mindful, because, you know, this game definitely wasn't made with platforming in mind, but it certainly does it in ways where it's not the worst. Like, they make it work, you just got to be considerate of the fact that this is definitely not a platformer. Not like Mario nothing like Mario Wonder for sure.
This is not a Mega Man game. This is not a Mario game.
It's a shame, because I love me some Mega Man. I think everyone here would probably know that if you've seen some of my runs.
I mean, I'm also a Mega Man runner, so...
Indeed, you are. We are... Yeah, Zero and I actually share quite a few speed games, if I'm not mistaken.
This and X4, I believe.
Oh, yeah, that would be it. That would certainly do it.
So now, precise jump number 1.
Good stuff so far. I'm going to swipe here, and thank goodness, if that third enemy on the ground got nailed, that would have spawned much more and made that way worse to deal with. And there we go. Okay, so we're clear from the worst part of this stage, but now I have to go into an elevator. And it's at this point that once we get started, I will still have some enemies that I got to take care of in order to make it go smoothly, but it's the equivalent to an auto-scroller. So in just a moment, there we go. All right, Insta, the floor is now yours.
Wait, what am I supposed to do? Is it donation reads you want?
Yes, you can tell
Whatever
if
you want to do.
Whatever you want to do.
Right, so we haven't got any new donations in. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. It's all good.
We haven't got any new donations in, I don't think. But if anybody does, oh, hang on. There we go. Yeah, we don't have any new donations in, but if anyone does want to donate, then please do so by typing !donate in the chat. That'll bring you up the link to the donation page. Oh, thank you, Zero.
You're welcome.
And that'll bring you the donation page. Oh, the bot has done it twice.
The bot likes me.
The bot likes you. That's exactly. But yeah, so the donation page there. So if you donate through that, then that will basically donate to the fundraiser total on the stream and on the website and all that stuff as well. We've currently got £103.80 donated, I think. So if anybody else wants to donate, then please do so. There are a couple of incentives left as well for tomorrow's runs. But yeah, so the total that you see on the website as well, that's how much we will eventually be donating to EveryoneCan. We do act as a middleman for this event because the donations go to us first and then they go to EveryoneCan. And for full disclosure, of course, we do take a little cut from donations. We take a 10% cut from all donations. You can also add that to your donation if you want to, but you do not have to. But we do take a 10% cut. That just helps us to cover costs for the event and all that stuff as well. So all the extra bits and make future InstaSpeedathon events even better in the future. So please donate if you can, because it all goes to a fantastic cause as well.
Absolutely. Always happy to do what I can for everyone can.
I just want to say I'm jealous of this elevator segment because it's 10 times slower for me.
That's true. Yeah.
I guess I'm just gonna have to buck up and play Emulator.
Please do. There are only two runners, myself and Fireboru, also known as the real Harry McDowell. It's there's not a whole lot of us, and I mean, I'm certainly glad to do my part. Yeah, definitely. If anybody that really wants to learn this run, it's really not that bad, and no need to worry about like trying to get all the hard strats down. Just the basics by themselves are more than enough, because as long as you get the whole gist of how to beat levels fast, then you're basically good to go. This game very much feels rewarding for just knowing your stuff, and that's all I can really say, really.
Okay, so quickly, he just beat the first phase of this boss. This is Bear Walking, or Bear Be Walking, as I call it.
Yes.
Pretty much easiest fight in the game. You just spin around him and shoot his 6 guns, and then you go into phase 2, which is the mouse wheel phase, where he's a giant arm on a wheel that you just want to avoid his punches and make sure you don't get hit.
Is he the mouse, or is he the user, I wonder?
Both.
Go figure.
No questions asked.
Nah. We should probably mention that these transformations that they undergo, though, those are called superior forms, and there's a good in-lore reason for this, actually. Oop, I'm going to have to heal up after that one. No problem. Pausing is pretty fast, as you can tell. Like, one of the fastest things you can do, which is definitely a good thing for a game like this. But there are certain situations where pausing is not quite available. Like, if I get caught in the catch attack from Ballad Lee, that would have prevented me from doing it. So, yeah, just don't take your health too... What's the word? Calmly to lightly. There. That's why is English hard for me sometimes. Yeah.
For granted. Now we're gonna go to the final stage of the game. Yes, 21 minutes in, we're already to the final stage. This is Bungie, who is a very big part of the Gungrave series, and we're pretty much just gonna walk around him.
All right. So, hopefully that did not mess me up too bad. Oh, God, he's going to do it again? Oh, that's bad. That's actually bad. Oh, man.
So, he's in his walking phase now, which after he does a couple charges and you get his health down, he'll go into the walking phase.
Oh, yeah,
you want to stay on him in the walking phase because he has a regen property. So, he will regen health while he's hiding from you and make the fight even longer.
Yes, that's one of the big things. See, the funny thing about trying to get around that, though, is once you realize that by holding the run button while also holding the lock-on button, you actually can get to him around the pillar much faster. It's funny because I never would have guessed that in my casual playthrough, but once I realized it really becomes your best friend. And like, yeah, no, there really is a difference between holding the lock-on on a target without holding the run button and the other way around. It's really cool, and it's just one of those minor differences where the game didn't really have to do it, but the fact that they did, it just makes our lives all the better for it.
Yeah, so now we're in the whole point of this story is about a drug called Seed. Seed infects people and makes them into these monsters called Orgmen. Very dangerous drug, very prevalent in Overdose. If you play the sequel to this, you would learn that.
Yeah,
so
these Orgmen got their name specifically from that game as compared to this one.
Yeah. Also, fun fact, it was a game first, then an anime, then a manga?
Seems definitely something like that. Yeah, there's a Gungrave anime, and it was also the first instance of an English dub, whereas this game was purely dubbed in Japanese, but you do have English subtitles in the worldwide edition, so yeah.
But, yeah, so... Fun fact, go watch the Gungrave anime for all your lore.
It's true, because while some events differ from in-game, it does go into some of the details behind Brandon Heat's own background, which technically is implemented into the official canon.
Also, actually, this stage is not nice. The game developers, Red Entertainment, and I forget who the other one is. They did not put invisible walls on anything.
Yeah, it was mainly just Red Entertainment, yeah.
Yeah, stairs, platforms, whatever, there's no invisible walls here. So you can fall and lose minutes.
Yes, because the game will then teleport you to the nearest, I guess you could say, central platform diamond, which is why you saw me step on that, just in case it actually does warm me back to it. I don't know, I can't remember if it actually makes a difference, per se, but, just in case the worst were to happen. Otherwise, I'm taking extra care with this platforming, so don't you worry.
And for some reason, this is the only stage in the game where stair canceling does not hurt your eyes.
Wait. It never hurt my eyes to begin with, what?
I mean, flickering.
Okay, fair. I guess when you put it that way, I never really thought of that, though.
So, yep, now we're going to see a spin to win here, just to go ahead and knock out that spawner. There's a lot of spawners in this stage. And we're heading up to where we're going to meet the worst of the Seed enemies, which is a 6-armed gunman who can just block your attacks. But for some reason, when you turn around and shoot him while he's walking up, he won't attack.
Yeah. No, he does not.
He'll just take the damage. And so we got to watch behind us while also watching in front of us. And you see two of them coming now. These are the two ones I'm talking about. You want to knock them off as soon as possible, or you're going to sit there and have to wait for them to open up and pretty much fight on their terms.
The worst.
It's literally the worst part of the game.
Absolutely. Definitely the worst enemy of the game. No.
And for a 30-minute game, saying that that's the worst problem of this game makes it pretty good to me.
Yeah, you know what? You're not wrong. I suppose if you do want to take them on casually as they're intended, I mean, you're more than welcome to. Just for us speedrunners, they are the worst part of this very stage. Thank goodness they only appear in this stage. Thank goodness this is the last stage, quite frankly.
For me, it's those guys, the dragonflies, and falling off stages. That's the three worst things of this game.
Yeah, because that at least applies to 2 stages, not just 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
But from here,
oh shoot! Crap. I forgot about him.
Oh, yeah. This one has shotguns.
Okay, let's see if I can't at least try to take care of him fast. I totally goofed. Oh, that's unfortunate.
See, now Steve's fighting this enemy on the enemy's terms.
Sadly. At this rate, I'm just... Oh, man, that is embarrassing. Okay, finally, though. Oy, that's very unfortunate. This could very well kill the kill the pace. We're still gonna slay the estimate, no doubt about it. But like, this has been a very good pace up until that point. Like, I am ever so slightly, but very quite indeed embarrassed.
It happens. I've done it several times before.
Yeah, I'm sure
So
it's
now
not
this
myself alone.
This is Big Daddy. He
Yes.
has a gun for a finger, he can breathe fire, and he can drop Macho Man Randy Savage elbows on you.
Yes, this is indeed our former boss, now brought back from the grave again, or not again, but just like us. And yeah, we kind of need to put him out of his misery. He's not doing too well.
Yeah.
So this is the second largest boss health within the game, and the biggest issue about his moves is between the flamethrower and the punches. Because, again, punches, those are bad in that they just hit you badly, Grave gets knocked down from heavy enough attacks. If they have explosions, you can guarantee it'll do the trick. Otherwise, there's not really much else that can do it to him. But flamethrowers, they shred through his health. We forgot to mention that the blue bar under my life gauge, that's my shield gauge. And once that's completely gone, it will eventually recover as long as I'm not taking damage, but I will start to lose life for the next bit of damage that I do take. So, yeah. And this is the final boss of the game. This is the alien head. Now, time will not be on the final hit, but we'll be sure to cue that in. It's particularly within a cutscene where we will be confronting the man himself, Harry McDowell. He effectively gives up and lets Grave take the final shot to end it. And once I take that shot, that will be time. But for now, we got the biggest bar of health within the game. Most runners usually just do the running lock-on to make it so that you never really get to see this guy in full. I have not mastered that, though, and my approach is slightly more aggressive because I try to use the burst mode, which it's when you have Graves standing in place and firing for a little while. So, yeah, I consider that the more effective means of damage anyway, and it just looks cool as well.
Yeah. Also, if you do plan to play this game, please note that the D-pad and the right stick on your controller will not work for this game. Your controller's not broken. This game is fully functioned on the left stick. Think of it like Metroid Prime, but you have to menu with analog sticks.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to let this one show off because I know for a fact we're not going to PB, so I might as well at least treat y'all to a fantastic cinematic here.
Yeah, so this is the Raging Demon. This is the
special demolition
instant
shot.
Kill. Yeah, the instant kill that we've been using throughout this game. We typically like to show it off in marathons because it's kind of the final hoorah.
Exactly. Also, the rib cage from the background somehow shows up in this.
I still don't understand where... I've played this game for years, and I still don't know where the alien comes from. It's just there. It's Contra Alien. It's there.
It's Attack on Titan, but alien.
I still have not finished that anime.
It just wrapped up. All right.
Yeah.
Get ready on time,
so now
folks.
we're going to go through this cutscene. Pretty much all you have to do is sit here and mash square.
Time.
Yep.
31, 37, 13. That is a very solid run. So my PB, as of recent, is 30 minutes and 50 seconds. And we've still had quite a few golds within that run. So by no doubt was that still pretty solid. And that the only thing that really threw me off was slipping up to the shotgun-armed enemy. But allow me to at least treat you really quickly to the best song within the game, Here Comes the Rain.
Yeah, so pretty much... By the way, your PB is like, what, 30, 50 you said?
Yes.
Yeah, you're like 9 seconds away from me. But that's console versus emulator, so... So yeah, huge shout out to the Gungrave community. We've actually built quite a good community.
Absolutely so. Very much so.
Around 3 games. We don't count the VR games because nobody runs them.
Not yet, anyway.
I mean, are you going to buy a PSVR?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, Steam
Not either.
VR would be cool, but like, oh man, I don't know.
But yeah, Here Comes the Rain plays. We did the thing.
Yeah, shout out to the composer and singer Raj. He was, of this particular song, and I do believe he has an official YouTube channel. So let me just see if I can't quickly peek at that super duper fast. But while I am attempting to do so, I would like to echo Zero's words in that, yes, we got a community, and we do have a server for it. So if you would like to join the Gungrave speedrunning server, then just go to any of our leaderboards. The Discord link should be there. And yeah, we cover Gungrave, Gungrave Overdose, and Gungrave Gore. And we're always happy to have some new folks join us if you ever want to give this a shot. And Zero, where can these wonderful people find you?
If you click on the name in there, Zero Blade Edge, that's me on everything. Twitter, nice. Twitch.
Yep. As for me, my name is TempestMask1000 on here, YouTube, that is Twitch and YouTube, and my Twitter, @It'sTempestSteve, and my Blue Sky of Tempest Mask. You can find me trying to post any updates as to when I stream, because I mostly do things for hobby, but if anybody is ever able to join and come say hi, I always welcome the company. It's just a fun thing to do when you have the time for it. And it's always nice to be able to do speed runs for charity events like InstaSpeedathon. So once more, thank you to Insta and the crew for having me as to round out this first day of the mini event. And yeah, just if you want to check out the composer's channel, his name is Raj Ramayya, which is RajRamayya. So big shout out to him, and yeah. And that's going to do it for me, so enjoy the rest of the schedule. Hope day 2 goes especially excellent. And folks, until we next meet, ciao, Michi.
Excellent. Now, thank you very much for taking part today. And don't forget, everybody, that we do have the runs tomorrow as well. So we'll be kicking off at about 9 o'clock in the morning in British time tomorrow with Kefka 14, Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition. Don't forget, of course, we are doing this as a charity event as well. So if you'd like to donate, then please do so. ! Donate in the chat will bring up the donation link. We currently have £103.80 donated to EveryoneCan. Or it will be donated to EveryoneCan at the end of the event because it goes to us first. And we do have some incentives for tomorrow as well, which are available to donate to. The donation page will, of course, be open overnight. So if there are any donations overnight, I'll read them out in the morning. But that's it for us for tonight. I think Tempest and Zero, I think you've said all you want to say. So we're going to go to intermission, and then we'll close off day 1. So thank you guys for taking part, and we'll see you again soon.